All right, we are in there. Just bam and bam. There we go. Sorry about the little wait, guys. Um, had to whip up something real quick. Like first, let me get a little sip here. Yeah, no Mountain Dew yet. Let me gear up. I fidget with this thing too much. This is my little ring. It's got like a chain on it. You can spin it. It's cool. Get this on. I missed the one that was thicker, but it fell apart real bad. And then at some point it just went missing altogether. And then, since I got my Straw Hat Crew shirt on, I figure I'll get my skull pendant on. There we go. It's too bad that Jinbei's not on this shirt. I don't think he is. Hold on a second. It's difficult. Come on. This one has a little thing that you gotta spin. It's not just your regular latch. And it doesn't want to behave. There we go. They're a big fan of this pendant because it was actually made by a local jeweler. Back when I used to take guitar lessons, my instructor's wife was a jeweler and made one for him just like this, and I really liked it. I was jealous, and so I asked if I could get one just like it. And so it's one of only two in the whole world, as far as I know. Now let's see, is Jinbei on this shirt? Uh, no. No, but whatever. We're here. We're here at the 10 subscriber milestone. And I know we've been in the game for a while, and that might seem like a pretty miserable number, but me, I'm just grateful to be seen. Honestly, very glad to have gotten this far, and I'm feeling very grateful right now. So I just wanted to open this up by giving a shout out to all my subscribers on YouTube, as well as followers on Twitch. We got 6 on Twitch, and I figure once we reach double digits on Twitch, we'll do another celebration stream for that. My plan was to do a celebration like each time we get a new digit on our subscriber count. So we'll be doing one for 100 and 1,000, 10,000s, and so on and so forth. Yeah. Assuming we get that far back. I have faith, you know. It's slow rolling here at Cross Age Productions, but, you know, we go our own pace. And I'll go ahead and admit that the slow growth of the channel is, and it's entirely my fault. I meant to post way more videos and not just do streams. Good news, though. Good news is that, well, if you've been following, you know that I work in education, right? And so I've had the past week off for Thanksgiving. And I've actually gotten some editing done. So my new video, which was supposed to be for Father's Day, it's actually coming along really nice now. So I figured I just got to put like a few more touches on it. I'd still need to record like a little bit of audio. And then I want to add some music, a little more like effects and stuff, and then I'll render it and I'll upload it. Plan is sometime this week. I mean, if I have it my way, it'll be today. uh, so hopefully I can get that whipped up real quick. Speaking of time off, if I can just refresh my own memory here, right? Because I got my school calendar on my phone here. Do, 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 do. Come on. It's right here. So I've got 1, 2, 3 more weeks, and then I'll have another couple weeks off. And Christmas plans aren't really finalized. My family's still kind of going over it because my grandma's got a little operation coming up. But the plan for now, very tentative plan, is that I'm just gonna have some more time off, and hopefully that'll be more time that I can spend on editing and working on the channel and the like. But let's see. But yeah, I just wanted to give a big old shout out to my subscribers and my followers. Um, YouTube side, uh, only one with a public subscription is Kenneth Hoff. So shout out to Kenneth. And then on the followers side, on Twitch side, we've got Monsieur TNT251, just a big back one, GD Will YT, Ryokan332, Jeff Gamer 000, Zane the Gamer Fan, Rain8858. I know that person from our mutual appreciation for Roomba Friend. We both watch him fairly regularly. I've been watching him less regularly because he's been taking on more like co-op games and like Repo, or he'll play a lot of team fight tactics and not so much RPGs. I think he's been kind of taking a break from RPGs. Although I think he did play. Is that an RPG or is that roguelike? Or is it both? I don't remember. And then we got Kai the Viking 975. I think that I might also know that person from watching Room of Friend and creating for Katie. So big thanks to all of you. You guys, you have fulfilled a very important role because you guys are the foundation, right? You guys are the cornerstones for the up and coming Cross Age Productions empire. And to celebrate, I got some milk and crinkle crinkle some Oreo holiday cookies. So let's break into that right now before we commence things in earnest. And they've always got their little designs. They've got Santa coming down the chimney. Mm-hmm. Now, the proper way to eat these, by the way, in case you didn't know, is you actually take a fork and you insert it sideways into the cream, and then that way you can dunk the whole thing down into the Oreos. And yes, I'm sorry, Monster TNT. We're still developing the technology to email Oreos to people. And in case you didn't know, or if you were wondering what it was that makes holiday Oreos special, for one, it's the bread cream, which doesn't taste any different, really. But the important thing is because it's seasonal. That's how you know it's fresh. That's how you know it's extra crunchy. So, my mom, she's getting ready for Christmas and she wants me to help her decorate. She found this. Check this out. USB cassette to MP3 converter. Now, that's some old tech right there. It's too bad. I'm trying to find out where the trademark is for this. It's not on the box anywhere. But that's pretty wild. Just judging from the design, this has probably been in like a drawer since like the early aughts. You know, when people might have still been holding on to them. And we actually still have. My family still has quite a few cassettes. So I'm going to have to comb through these again. I've been big into this lately. Big into like salvaging and ripping like old CDs or VHS tapes or stuff to preserve it because we're big in, I don't know if you can tell, but we're big into physical media here. I don't really stream much of anything at all unless it's for the channel. I mean, I've got a Netflix. I've got a Netflix that that I share with the family, but mostly I just use. And I'll watch things like live action, One Piece, live action, Airbender. My friend Jaron, he visited just like 1 or 2 days ago, and he let on that he had not yet seen live action Death Note. So I got the privilege of introducing that to him, and I recorded it. I'm not sure how well it turned out because I had the desktop audio on and it was like all the way up. So I don't know how audible we're going to be on that recording. I haven't watched it yet. But it would be nice to turn that into a little video because, oh boy, what a reaction. That movie is terrible, by the way, in case you didn't know that. It is a disaster. Even if you're not a fan of Death Note, it's just really dumb and has pretty glaring, obvious writing issues. I haven't seen it yet. Hey, spare yourself the trouble, man. By the way, I want to apologize once again because it totally slipped my mind that the streamer lighting is busted. I have not gotten new streamer lighting yet, but it's actually looking a lot better this time. We've got a little more natural lighting coming in, maybe a little too much because it's messing up. It's messing things up. Come on. Tone it down. By the way, as you can see, we are decorated for Christmas early. And celebrating early, too, with these holiday Oreos. I gotta stop, though. I'm starting to get sick. Thanks, man. I try. It's been really... it's been a journey trying to figure out the best lighting. I probably should have 2 of those. But it's... I don't know. It's a tight fit. There's not a lot of space going on back here. You don't even want to know the Gordian knot of like cables and stuff back here, and there's all sorts of little speakers packed in, and gadgets and gizmos and antennae. It's tight, and I dread the day that I would ever have to move any of this because it's really rough. And by the way, the only thing I've asked for Christmas for my family is money because I'm trying to afford new stuff for the channel and white graphic tees because I live in a place that's pretty hot, so I don't wear a lot of dark colors as a way of keeping cool. And my white graphic tees are really, really on their last legs. I miss the old days when Rue 21 used to sell all sorts of like hype ass white graphic tees. That was my look. Was I rocked Trip NYC for the bottoms? You know, the like neon piping on black with the chains and the grommets and the spikes and all that. And then on the top, I would get Rue 21 graphic tees that matched perfectly. That was really the dynamic duo in like the late aughts, early teens. But then they decided to do something different where they started doing lots of checkerboard patterns and like Chicago Bulls, like a fetishistic level of Chicago Bulls merch. And then they filed for bankruptcy. So, and just to be clear, bankruptcy is not the same as like going out of business. There are still some Rue 21s, but they are not the force of apparel that they checkerboard patterns really weird, very very odd. And not even tasteful checkerboard patterns. Like something more like ska wear, something you wear to the horse tour or something like that. No, just very, I don't know. I don't know what the mindset was for that. But yeah, I mean, I had an itinerary. You can see it on screen right here. I'd struggle with like reflected there. But I don't know. How about you pick Monster? What do you want to do first? The One Piece, the Digital Circus trailer. There's this animation that I just kind of tripped over called the Magic Canvas, and I figured I'd watch that for the first time on stream because we are big into animation around here. And then I had a tier list, and then I had Bloons Tower Defense 6 that I wanted to play just a little bit, which I should fire that up now just to get it warmed up. No idea how long this stream is going to be, by the way. Because at some point I got to get with my mom, and she's actually asked me to help her with the Christmas decorations. So, but I mean, I got all day to do that. You've not read or watched One Piece yet, nor Digital Circus. Well, I'll tell you up front, if you want to get into One Piece, the manga is the way to go. It is so much faster, especially now that the anime. I don't know if you heard, but after they wrap up the current arc, um, they're gonna switch to a seasonal model because I think they're as tired as we are of padding out episodes. Because at some point they decided that they did not want to do filler anymore because nobody wants to watch it. You know, it's not canon. It's fluff. It's filler. But you kind of need filler though, because when you don't have that, like not not having non-canon story arcs does not eliminate the need for filler. So instead, what you do is you just pad out the canon stuff to where you still got to deal with as much filler, but now you can't skip it because it's integrated into the main story. And so it just really, really drags. Once upon a time, right? Back in like the late 90s, early aughts, mid aughts, all that. Uh, episodes would fly by pretty fast. They would be pretty beat for beat in terms of matching the pacing of the manga, to where one episode would usually cover 2 chapters, maybe even more. But now, like, okay, so there was also a dark age where one episode did not even equal 1 chapter. It was really bad. I've got some sort of like infograph somewhere where somebody actually did the math on the average like chapter to episode ratio, and it went under 1 at some point. So it was pretty definitively slower than reading the manga. Now I think they finally got it hashed out to where it's 1-for-1, but that's still not good. I don't know. Still has a lot of padding. So I think by doing it seasonal, they're giving the manga a chance to get ahead of them so that they don't feel like they have to slow down as much. What the heck have they been animating then? A lot of like, oh boy. It's almost a drinking game at this point where it's like really unnecessary, like over animation, dramatic panning shots, slow motion, unnecessary impact frames. Like, people will say that the animation has improved, and I don't know. Strictly speaking, it has, but it feels like the tools have been misused. Like, the animation is better, but it's kind of going to waste, in my opinion. Animating things that don't need to be animated. Sometimes less is more. Sometimes it's good to just be focused and not overly flowery, flashy explosions and crazy changes in color palettes. Sometimes just focusing on one thing at one time and animating it in a way that's straightforward and coherent, that works for me. But I'm probably in the minority. I'm sure a lot of people just eat this kind of stuff up. I don't know. I barely watch the One Piece anime, honestly. I'll kind of get the highlights. And that's pretty much it. Digital Circus, though, I would absolutely recommend that. That's super digestible. It's only... Oh, let me refresh my memory here. If it will cooperate. No, I don't know what's going on. I don't know what you're doing. We're not doing that. Hello? I clicked on the... Okay. Digital Circus, that is that's a CG animated miniseries that you can find on both YouTube and Netflix. Which I don't remember how many episodes they have. It's by Glitch Productions. And they... What? That's bizarre. The playlist on Glitch only goes up to episode 6. I know for a fact that they have more episodes than that. At least one more. Glitch, yeah, they've worked on some other stuff. Recently, they came out with something called Knights of Guinevere. They also did Murder Drones and the Gaslight District. I'm all in it for Digital Circus, though. That's the only one that I really express interest in. And I don't even really remember how I got into Digital Circus. No? Hold on. I think it might be having a bit of a Mandela effect. No, it really is only 6 episodes. of variable length. They range between like 25 and 35 minutes long. So, like, super digestible. You can binge that, no problem. Now, the seventh episode is the one that's about to come out, which is a beach episode. Looking forward to that. And it's just really good. It's about someone who gets trapped in a virtual world that has kind of like a retro video game aesthetic to it. And there's a lot of mystery revolving the other people that are trapped in the game, how and why they're trapped in there, like the nature of the game, where it came from, that kind of thing. And from what I have heard from Glitch, it's actually not supposed to be that long. They came out with like a blueprint at some point, and I think it went up to maybe 9 or 10. It might be a little bit longer than that, because I think at some point they realized that one of the episodes was too long, and they looked at it and they figured out that they could break it up into 2 episodes instead. So they might have changed course a little bit, but I think it's just supposed to be a mini-series. It's already over 2 years old. That trips me out. Now this series, it's bizarre because it's not really for kids, and yet it is. I find it to be quite popular with kids. It's kind of like Adult Swim, right? Like, kids aren't really supposed to watch it, but they do anyway. I noticed when this last Halloween, I managed to talk my mom into dressing up as the main character, Pomni. She's like a Harlequin. Because I thought that made sense, clowns and Halloween, they just go together. And she also goes to conventions with my dad. So he can sell his books. And so that would make for some nice cosplay that she could wear if she wants. And also it was a chance to do something a little different and get her a costume that was more trendy. I thought it would go over more with teenagers, like older teenagers. And sure enough, she got quite a few comments on her costume, and that made me very happy. That's what we do every year. Is my mom and I will team up, and we'll load up some candy into the back of my car and hand it out of my trunk. Not my dad, though. For some reason, he's always been a real Scrooge when it comes to Halloween. He just doesn't want to interact with it at all. I mean, whatever. That's fine. And I'll put on like a playlist. It's kind of a mashup of like cute and creepy at the same time. I've got like the Peanuts Halloween special soundtrack. I've got let's see, like the Hellraiser soundtrack as well. So quite the cocktail of different stuff, and then lots of rock and roll, like sort of Halloweeny rock and roll. Ozzy Osbourne, Kiss, and some video game soundtracks too. Devil May Cry 1 has tracks that are really good for Halloween. But you know what? I'll give you a little taste of Digital Circus right now, because I think I'll go ahead and skip forward in the itinerary, and we'll just go ahead and watch this trailer here. There we go. I probably don't need the little filter shield, whatever you want to call it. Just a little transparency should be good. Unmute the desktop audio. Oh, that's loud. And yes, for some reason they only uploaded it in shorts form. Looking cute. It's surprising then that that they said this is going to be one of the darker episodes. So I'm curious to see how dark tone and beach episodes syncs up. Yes, it is very clean animation. I like it. Very clean, very expressive, and it's evolved over the course of the production. And I'm not gonna say like the old episodes were ugly or anything, but if you look closely, they have fine tuned some of the character designs. Like if I can just hold on a second, how do I there? Also, upon reflection, I think I actually have seen this trailer before. It's not new. At some point, they did like some sort of press release about all their upcoming projects, and it included this trailer. I guess I thought this was going to be a new trailer, and I just didn't remember. This when did this come out? I shorts get on my nerves because I don't actually watch them a lot. I don't know. It doesn't. Here, description. Thank you. I think they actually updated the interface at some time to make it less intuitive. October 12th. Okay, so this is not a new trailer at all. I should have paid attention. But yeah, I'm still going to be looking forward to it. And thanks for tuning in, man. Thanks for joining us for our 10th 10 subscriber celebration. And hopefully I'll see you again when we inevitably have our 100 subscriber celebration. Because we're going to keep on trucking. And happy belated Thanksgiving, I suppose. Congrats. Oh, thanks, man. Thanks. Big shout out to Mansoor here in the chat. I'm sorry you're not showing up in the chat in the video for some reason. I don't know what's up with that. But my little, like, in-video chat box has always been a misbehaving little miscreant. Man. Alright. So I guess now I'll get into the One Piece. Oh man, speaking of the One Piece, I don't know what's going on with that. The new one that Wit Studios was supposed to be working on, like a remake of the series. Seems like it's been radio silence on that for a long time. And even when we did hear something about it, it wasn't much. A little chilly, actually. It was blazing hot before I started stream, so I cranked up the AC and the fan at the same time. Might have overcompensated a bit. So I might have to pause stream at some point to turn the air conditioning back off. Because it's starting to get chilly outside, too. And when it's chilly outside and chilly inside, it really doubles up. So, One Piece. Chapter 1167. And I am happy to say that I have not been spoiled on this chapter very much at all, except for the cover request. A cat is scolded for stealing a book, but Gen and Nezuko aren't mad. That's very adorable, by the way. That's super duper cute. Chapter 1167. 1167. Ida's son. Ida? I'm just gonna call her Ida for now because that's what rolls off the tongue for me. Oda says, I'm really getting into this 8D audio. I love that feeling of being enveloped in sound. I want to convert a room for it. 8D. That actually has me curious. Normally, Oda's commentary is pretty insipid, or it's just comments on his daily life like this. But we actually are into like listening to music and really good high quality audio around here. So that begs some investigation. 8D audio. And that's gonna be something I'm gonna have to check out after stream, I guess. Meanwhile, 33 years ago, 5 years after God Valley. Okay. This makes me happy already because I was already feeling like Rocks kind of hijacked the flashback, and I wasn't too happy about it. Because in the end, if you really measure it up pound for pound, the whole Rocks aspect of this flashback and the God Valley incident and all that, it was kind of light on reveals. It didn't tell us too much we didn't already know. We did get to learn a little bit more about the Davy Clan and the details about how a dragon used to be in the Marines, turned his back on them. We got to see how ridiculously overpowered Emu is, and I have no idea, absolutely, actually no idea how this person can possibly be beaten, which to some extent I guess I get, because they are very clearly the final boss of One Piece. But they just seem so massively overwhelming. Like, I don't know. But now that we're finally moving past that, already, almost immediately, the pace has quickened immensely. Like, we're skipping ahead 5 years. That's big. And by the way, I do notice Panda Man back there throwing up the peace sign. I'm not too good at scoping out Panda Man Easter eggs, so apologies if I've missed thousands of them up to this point. Post God Valley World. I could have sworn pirates were approaching off the shore. Hora Fukime. I don't know what that means. But there was something huge and shadowy emerging from the mist behind them. Underwater prison, impelled down. Everything just went kaboom after that. Our ship was in ruins before we knew it. We were nothing but fish food. Sure it wasn't a Sea King attack? No way. It was shaped like a human. Don't tell me you were in the infamous waters of the Florian I figured it would be something like that. I should have called my shot there. Because as soon as it said something about, like, huge and shadowy emerging from the mist, I instantly got, like, Florian Triangle Thriller Bark vibes. Very interesting. I'm thinking, this is after God Valley, right? Like, right after God Valley. And now we're hearing about Thriller Bark for the first time, chronologically. Very interesting juxtaposition there. It's almost like we're confirming theories that Thriller Bark is actually God Valley that has been uprooted from the land. God Valley, it was pretty smashed up. It disappeared from the map. Now Thriller Bark is here. We know that members of the Thriller Bark Pirates are are zombie versions of some of the old Rocks pirates. Gil Bastar and Captain John and Exploding Booger Man. I don't remember his name. Big huge Gonzui. Gonzui, that was his name. I can't believe I remembered. So yeah, this is very interesting. Fat chance we don't fish near that region. Everyone knows to avoid it. I mean, that monstrous thing was definitely human-like. Monstrous human. During this period, a rumor began to circulate among the Grand Line. Oh. No, that's not what this is. My bad. My bad, folks. I got a little ahead of myself. So, now, I see. My brain is doing a little time travel. And I'm thinking of the time when the narrator said that the legends of people mysteriously disappearing in the Florian Triangle did not begin with the rise of Moria and the Thriller Bark pirates. He said they had already been going disappearing before that. And this is the before in question. It's Harold. During this period, a rumor began to circulate among the Grand Line countries. They said a monster lurked deep in the foggy seas, targeting pirate crews. The identity of that monster was none other than Harold. Few who sailed those waters had ever seen the giant with their own eyes, so to them he was nothing less than the very embodiment of fear. Harold now worked in the shadows to back up the Navy as part of his atonement for the last 1,000 years of history. Meanwhile, the pirates who had gone their separate ways after God Valley continued to rise in prominence, and over the next decade or so, each of them would peak to become a defining face of their generation. Peak. Interesting. Is that the accurate translation then? Peak. Fascinating. Very fascinating. And it specifically says the pirates, not the pirate crews. I believe when Brand New was discussing the remnants of the Rocks pirates back in Wano country, he had said that the pirate crews were more powerful than they had ever been before. Not entirely clear on that. Feel free to correct me if I'm wrong, but if this is when the pirates peaked, then that is interesting. So this is peak Kaido, peak Whitebeard, peak Big Mom. This is when they were at their strongest. Over the next decade or so. So before it was 33 years ago, now it is 23 years ago. Oh, that's really coming up on the time when Roger was starting to conclude his pirating career. So then Whitebeard, when he was fighting Roger in Odin Peace, that was peak Whitebeard. Just a little curiosity to me, because I try to hash out in my mind the power scaling of when these characters were at their strongest. Because something I've always kind of speculated is there such a thing as Pirate King tier? Because when you hear Garp and Roger teamed up against Big Mom, Whitebeard, Kaido, and Rocks all at the same time and won, that sounds pretty impressive. But then you gotta remember that this was a long time ago when they were a lot younger and a very strange setting where One Piece is a world where people tend to bloom very late in life, where fighters are often at their peak when they're in their 30s or 40s. So with that in mind, with Kaido only having just gotten his devil fruit power and coming to grips with it, and Big Mom still not really built up that much in terms of muscle, and Whitebeard also being pretty young. And also Rox being revealed too, in my opinion, not actually being all that impressive. I don't know. It just feels like a much less impressive feat than it was initially described. Garp and Roger versus Whitebeards. Most of these pirates simply clashed over territory. There's Shiki and Wang Ji, Ochoku, whatever you want to call them. However, one crew broke through all the others and achieved a feat long believed impossible. They circumnavigated the entire world. They were hailed as the crew of the King of the Pirates, Gold Roger. The public execution of the captured Pirate King was meant to serve as a spectacle, a display of the world government's power. However, the world plunged into even greater... Sorry if it seems like I'm speed reading, but this really is a lot of stuff that we just know. The only interesting part is hearing this part right here where it says that they peaked. Which is a curiosity in the power scaling sphere. Plunged in even greater turmoil, countless souls set out, pursuit of the vast treasure, advent of the great pirate era, and look at these guys. Look at these jokers. Oh my gosh, they look garbage. What a bunch of jobbers. Navy headquarters caught off guard. More than 10 giants were drafted into the Marines from all over the world in an effort to consolidate strength. So this is in response to the Great Pirate Era. Interesting. And I suppose Harold had a hand in this, yeah? During this stretch of time, Harold waited on the Navy hand and foot. Did you see how huge he was? He's an ancient giant. I want to make him my slave, of course. Of course he do. And that very year, he was finally granted formal permission to visit the Holy Land. A shallow sea contract? That is correct. Consider yourself the right hand of God's knights. God's steel. It is a great honor. Wow. Okay. So he's got this this mark. This is very... Ooh, contract. Hold on a second. Hold on, shallow sea contract. All right, everybody. All right, hold on. Dig the corn out of your ears, because I think we're about to actually get some more. See, I was starting to... my interest in this chapter was starting to flag, because up till now, it was a lot of stuff we already knew. I mean, the whole peak thing is a nice little tidbit. Learning that the giant squadron had to do with Harold was interesting. That he was the first scourge of the Florian Triangle. That's interesting. But a lot of it was covering what we already knew. Now, I think we are getting into some very, very juicy stuff. We could be learning more about this, these contracts and these these Faustian deals, these dark powers that course through all these people under Imu. So here we go. Let's see what they have to say. There are 3 levels of contract. The shallow sea contract is a more minor pact. The deep sea and deep sea contracts are reserved for those who are to be bound fully to the true God. Only 13 individuals in the entire world receive that privilege. 13. Okay, hold on. Bear with me. Let's hash this out, right? Let's go ahead and hash this out real quick, like. No, don't. Hold on, y'all. We got this. 13 people. So we got problems here. So we got Mercury, Nostro, Mars, Peter, Saturn, but then it changes to Garling. And then who else? Maybe God's Knights. So Shamrock and Gunko and Summers and Keeling, I think was his name. So let's see, that's 1, 2, should have numbered these first. So the 5, obviously. And then God's Knights. Healing. The one woman whose name that I can't even really remember. The girl who looks like a femme version of Gecko Moria, who could shoot lasers out of her mouth for some inexplicable reason. I think Manmeyer was another, like, family within God's Knights. So then there's 2 more. And I'd be very interested to learn who they are. Very interesting. In fact, if I can just look this up real quick. And hold on a second. I'm going to go to the One Piece wiki and look up God's Knights. Knights of God, whatever. Killingham, that was his name. Killingham, I believe he's a... yeah. Satchel's Maffey. Okay, no, that's not it. I've got a lot of windows open at the same time, by the way. Maffey. And then like 3 more people. Because there's this group shot, right? So there's no. There's a beautiful woman. And the guy who has like an animal skull mask. And is very haunting looking. Oh, but there's also like this this demonic looking guy. Like this big monster man. So, that doesn't actually necessarily add up. Well, Let me think. No, that doesn't add up. So unless one of these people just isn't under contract, or no, maybe the beautiful woman is Gunko. Let's look at this again, and I'll go ahead and pull it up so you guys can see it too. So let's see. There's the 4 elders besides Garling, and then 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. This doesn't add up. Maybe one of them is under the. Maybe one of them is under the deep sea contract, and not the deep sea contract. Anyway, let's move on. Enough speculation and theorizing and such. What do you mean by God? You will only come to know the greatest depths of this world on the day you become a full knight of God. Could Elbaf become a member nation then? Naturally, Harold. At that point, the entire world would be clamoring to welcome you. I'm grateful for this opportunity to prove myself. And Garling, he's grown out his facial hair. He actually, apart from the obviously idiotic hair, he's looking pretty suave. I'm feeling like I kind of want to see Shanks start to grow out his facial hair now, because he's looking like a real, like, if I can just scroll down so that you can't see his idiotic hair. Like this. If you just look at him like this, that's a real swashbuckler look right there. He's looking pretty cool. Nice temple, Shangara, domain of the gods. Interesting. So this is a place within Marie-Joisie, I assume. This is where the elites hang out. Not the elite elites, not the Gorosei, but the guys under them. Captain of the Gods Knights, Frigolin family, St. Garling, of course. What is the Great One planning? And I can't remember if we ever discussed this, but clearly God's Knights are in on. Well, they're under contract, right? So they know about the Great One. You're gonna obey us, even though you're King of Elbaf? Of course, just say the word. There's Summers, there's Shamrock. I always like Summers' facial hair. The guy is absolutely sick. Like sick, nasty, disgusting, horrible person. But I like his design. We'll keep a long-distance Den and Mushi on hand and call if we have need of you. You'll be free to travel the surface world, but you are forbidden to speak of our dealings. Understood. 20 years ago, Ryugu Kingdom, Fishman Island. Bara. Hold on a second. Before I scroll any further, this is interesting to me. Because let's think back for a moment, okay? Gold Roger, when he was campaigning to find the One Piece, one of the road poneglyphs was here, on Fishman Island. That was 22 years ago. Now this is 2 years after that. Is it still going to be there? Is it going to come up? Are we going to find out who took it and where it went? Very much like to learn that. Very much. Because this is the final saga. This is the time when we get our answers. Like, the time for questions is fading away, and the time for answers is coming upon us. I haven't laughed this hard in a long time, Neptune. Me too, pal Jamon. We both have our fair share of headaches, don't we? To be honest, I don't... What? Wait, hold on. Why is Neptune drawn so cute with his little itty-bitty beard? You can even see his mouth. To be honest, I don't think your son is that bad deep down. Let's not forget what your youth was like. Well, then, when you put it like that, I'm just being brutally honest. Anyway, did I tell you a fortune teller predicted I'd have a daughter in 4 years, Jamon? When the time is right, why don't we betroth Loki to my future daughter? Maybe even arranged political marriage is kind of disturbing. Brah. Now you're going too far. Cut it out. Hey, don't write her off so fast. She's not gonna be just any old mermaid. My daughter might well be born with a power no one else could ever hope to handle, Jamon. Well, now, that does sound like a perfect match. Let's have a toast. Here's to the futures of my mischievous troublemaker and your little Mosa Mosa. Don't call her that. She won't be Shaggy. That same year, in the Owl Library, Elbaf. Don't mention it. You're welcome to live freely here, Saul. Thanks a bunch. Actually, there's one thing I'd like to ask. What is it? If we get other learned folks on Elbaf to help, would you be willing to open a school here? A school, huh? That's a nice idea. 15 years ago, major incident occurred at the Holy Land of Josie. Slaves are running away. The cells are broken. Hurry, or do you want to be their pet forever? Okay, so here's the part with Fisher Tiger, and he squares up against what looks like Shamrock. Is that one of God's knights? Listen, the armory will be left unlocked for you. I'll tell you the location. What? Oh, that's Shanks. That's not actually one of God's knights. That's Shanks. The armory will be left unlocked for you. I'll tell you the location. Gunpowder. Hurry, Big Sis. Sandersonia. There's someone out there. Someone fighting to free us from this hell. Hurry, Koala. You have to run. You know, this this is actually a debuff to Fisher Tiger. Because now if he has help from Shanks, that really recontextualizes things. Okay. There's Koala. Koala's so cute. She's not smiling in this like she should be, though. Because she's conditioned to always smile, right? This attack on the Holy Land was carried out by Fisher Tiger. In the wake of this, they attribute it entirely to Fisher Tiger. They probably don't know about Shanks. He would go on to become captain of the Sun Pirates. I was just scanning the background to see if there were any familiar characters. I'm just going to switch here so we can scoot past the sus-looking advertisement. Sounds like it was pretty rough. They say someone with the government must have left the armory open for them. Now it's up to us to find the culprit. I can't wait to execute them. There's someone I want to introduce you to, Harold. His name is Shanks. Okay. Two things. First off, I'm surprised that they didn't immediately point fingers at Harold. And second, Shanks is... So this is after Gold Roger, right? So after parting ways, Shanks went undercover? Is that what it is? He spent a little time pretending to be on the world government's side. And they actually welcomed him in, even though he was a member of the Pirate King's crew. That's interesting. He's Shamrock's younger brother. They were separated a long time ago due to circumstances. He suffered many hardships in the surface world. If he were to form a deep-sea contract, I believe he'd make a great asset, on par with Shamrock. For the time being, however, he's been given the rank of God's Steel, just like you. Wait, so does that mean that... Ooh. Hold on a second. Does that mean that Shanks is under contract? Does that mean that Shanks has a Shallow Waters contract? Does that mean that Emu has control over him? Or could he take that power away and reduce him to nothing but bones the way that he could with Saturn? Or because it's a shallow waters contract, maybe he doesn't have as much control over him, if any at all. And maybe he can't just strip him of his power and his life the way that he did with Saturn. Very curious. This is going to give us even more insight onto how these powers work. Especially, there is going to come the time when Luffy and Shanks meet again. We could learn so much about how all this works from Shanks, provided he's willing to discuss it. But we don't know all of Shanks' machinations. Maybe he's a double agent. Maybe he really is with God's Knights. Maybe maybe he really is quite the shady person. Would not surprise me that much. Because I always thought he was too good to be true. He's a little too much of a sweetheart to be a Yonko, right? Anyway. I know I said the same thing when I first met Shamrock too, but I can't shake the feeling that I've met you before. I don't know what you're talking about. You're just some giant... I don't know what you're talking about. You're just some giant commoner from the surface. Don't act so familiar with me. I was blessed from birth with Figurlin's blood in my veins. I have no doubt I'm going to become a Knight of God before you. I guess I mistook you for someone else. Shanks, he's playing his part. He is definitely playing his part. His face is already messed up, by the way. Can we take a moment to talk about that? So, at what point and under what circumstances did Shanks fight Blackbeard? Do shallow waters contracts let you regenerate? I'm not sure. We're still just now learning about this, so I'm not sure. But if it does let you regenerate, it means that they fought before the contract was made, because you can't regenerate injuries already sustained before the contract was sealed. Huh. Come on, Shamrock. I wish to deepen my knowledge of the Holy Land, and I shall apprehend that traitor to claim the credit I deserve. Are there any leads? Godsteel devotee, Figurlin family, Saint Shanks. That feels weird to read. It can wait till your wounds are fully healed, Shanks. You cannot fathom the anguish of having the last 24 years of your life wasted. No wonder the rest of the world seems so alien to me. Saint Shamrock. Interesting the way that their swords, they're arranged in an interesting way. Shanks has his to the right. Shamrock has his to the left. I hated everything down there. He is... Huh. Either he is putting on a very convincing show, or Shanks is... this is really another side of Shanks that we have not seen. There's a little heart there. Interesting. That same year, the fishing village on Elbaf. It's no good. My medical knowledge is too limited. Let's call Harold and see if he can get us in touch with a more skilled doctor. Don't. He's got a lot on his plate. You know what? Actually, before we move forward, I want to talk about how dumb my previous comments are. If he's bandaged up now, when he's already God's steel, that means that people with shallow waters contracts can't regenerate. Clearly. And it means the battle was recent. So he was of God's steel when he fought Blackbeard. Don't. He's got a lot on his plate now. What's the point of fostering a network with the world government if we don't use it? I can recover on my own. You keep saying that, but you're getting weaker by the day. You have to get better. Harold will be heartbreaking if you don't, you know. Mato, keep the tavern open. No way. How can I when you're this sick? Oh, that's the girl who does ultimately take over the tavern. Whenever Harold's home, he always goes straight to the. Whenever Harold's home, he always goes straight to the elders and begs them to allow you two to legally marry. That fool, he knows I'm happy with my tavern. I enjoy befriending sailors from all over the world. It may not be much, but I feel like I'm helping Harold by doing that. Hey, foreign hag, Loki, cook up this meat for the old hag, will you? The tavern's my main hangout spot. I want her to reopen it. Good grief, that troublemaker has grown out of hand. I'm glad you've been able to keep him in line. Even with Hajrudin and his friends away, looking for a doctor. Your boys really love you. Everyone's blowing this out of proportion. I'll be fine. But it does make me smile. Oh boy. Elbaf, Alcohol Village, hometown of Loki's birth mother. What'd you just say? We were talking about how utterly unbearable it'd be to let that foreign bitch worm. Sorry, I misread that. To let that foreign bitch worm her way into the royal family. You're with us, right, Loki? We're Estrid's relatives. She was Harold's true wife. We can't let anyone have a claim on our inheritance. That's why I slipped her a dose of poison. This stuff is fatal. Her days are numbered. Wow. Wow at that. Wow. Mata, we can't hold off on ringing Harold anymore. On it. We may not be related by blood, but I see him the same way I do Hajrudin. Loki is still my cute little son. Loki, hey, Ida isn't really gonna die, right? I still remember my birth mother. She hated me. She had me thrown into the realm of the dead. Who gives a shit about inheritance? Your whole family is nothing but trash. Now answer. Ida won't actually die, right? She's the only mother I've ever known. His true feelings pour out. I bet you must get pretty lonely, right, Loki? Wouldn't it be better to stay with us? Chapter 1167 end, and as far as I know, there is no break. Let me double check that right now. Oh, it's on my mind. Okay, word's not out yet, but I will keep my mind up on my eye on that. That was huge, actually. This has been the best chapter in a long time. There was a little moment where I was starting to waver, but this is actually big, 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 big. I actually really like this chapter a lot. This is easily an 8 out of 10, maybe even better. This was good. I really liked reading this. A lot of fascinating stuff going on. Learning about the contracts and God's Knights and God's Steel. Now I'm really looking forward to the next chapter. So we already checked out Digital Circus. Let's go ahead and close this. And this. And this. And okay, now it's getting warm again. So, by the way, my time off has really screwed up my sleep cycle. Now it's just kind of whatever it is. Yesterday, I didn't get out of bed until almost 11. I think I'm going to need some caffeine before we continue any further. So, Let me crank up the fan a little bit. And I'm going to take a very short break, okay? Very short. So hold on a second. All right, back in there. So let's do this. Actually, before going full screen, I got to read this. Okay. So this is the Magic Canvas. From all the way back in 1948, like I was saying before, this is pretty much like apropos of nothing. I just kind of tripped over this in recommendations, and it looked fascinating. Magic Canvas by 48. Celebrate 100 years since the birth of John Hallis. Here is his most personal experimental film, a powerfully graphic piece of animation that expresses his own feelings about man's universal quest for freedom. And hey, we're big about freedom here. I mean, got the Straw Hat Crew right here. Freedom above all. That's our motto here at Cross Age Productions. So, this is being presented by Vivian Hallis. And the Hallis and Bachelor, part of the Hallis and Bachelor collection. HallisandBachelor.co.uk. I don't know what that's all about, but let's go ahead and check it out. And always remember to support the original content. What you get here at Cross Age Productions, it is never meant to be a substitute for supporting the original creators of the respective content featured here. This is all about Cross Age Productions is about curation and critique. So don't just go watching this and then think that it's okay to not support other creators out there, because that's not cool. That's not cool. We don't steal. We do not steal or pirate. Ironically enough, we do not steal or pirate other people's content here on Cross Age Productions. It's hard for everybody, so please go ahead and support the original again here at Vivian Hallis. Let's go ahead and give it a spin. And I know absolutely nothing about this, by the way. Here is something different from the ordinary cartoon film, and is a ballet in which the dancers symbolize two aspects of man. One part of him soars up bravely, and I guess I should have let that play out because clearly it's going to start scrolling. There it goes. Soars up bravely like a bird and brings riches and joy to the earth. The other stays imprisoned and wants to be set free. Here is something new and exciting. Relax and let your eyes and ears enjoy it. Well, that's a very sweet sentiment. Magic Canvas studying movement, form, and couleur. So you know this from Europe. And hold on a second, I missed one of those credits. I had trouble reading it anyway, so. It sounds like we're in for some fire classical music as well. Hallison Bachelor cartoons. And I believe this is the best quality available, by the way. When was this uploaded, by the way? 2012! Wow, okay. That explains a lot. Recommendations be weird like that. Like, this came to me only like a week or two ago. And I kind of meant to check it out last stream, and then we didn't. Ooh, the stereo audio is really messing with me. It's almost entirely coming out of the right side. Okay. Ooh, this is really reminding me of Rite of Spring. And also kind of Sorcerer's Apprentice. Ooh, it's getting loud. For me, it's getting loud. I don't know about you guys. Man, I don't know if this music was meant to be this eerie, or if it's just warped and distorted from the years. Okay, so I assume this is the imprisoned figure from the bars in the background. Interesting. So it's two figures intertwined? It's one person splitting into two. Man, this music is really eerie and unsettling. So smooth and trippy. This feels like something from Pink Floyd's The Wall. You know, obviously well before The Wall, but you know what I mean. Man, this really does feel very Fantasia coded. Ooh, very eerie. Bleh. Bleh. Okay, all right. Okay, we're awake. We're awake. We're paying attention. The black blots remind me of the Wicked Queen mixing up her potion in what's it called? Snow White. Oh my gosh, this is bizarre. Now it feels like I'm watching something on Dr. Seuss. This music is a little overbearing. Admittedly, it is probably because of the poor audio quality. Dang. That's hard. It's hard times out here. Freedom isn't always comforting. All right, we're doing better now. Yeah, we made it through the hard times. We're grooving and smoothing. And ooh, I wonder where we're going next. Because I thought I saw some distant forest. What? Oh, it's like Fields of Grain. Because of the poor video quality, I thought it was like a fire that had started. Man, this is so trippy. So I guess this is him out exploring the world now. It's like plants and the ocean and stuff. I wonder when we're gonna get back to the figure that was imprisoned. Ugh, this is making me a little sick, actually. This part here, a little too much going on. Is there such a thing as too much animation? The cloud looks like a Peanuts background element. Oh no, it's the ghost dogs from Undertale. The way the dove is constantly illustrated to be like permanently off model is very unsettling. I guess that is to illustrate that it is a free being. It only has a vague shape, not definite. I guess now it's nighttime. I like how this does let you use your imagination a little bit. And here we go. The imprisoned figure. Oh, so the dove has come back, I suppose. Because here it was all dark and stuff, yeah. I wonder if the imprisoned figure is going to take on some other form as well. The way that the frame man turned into a dove. Oh, that's kind of sad. The way that the prisoner is trying to imitate the dove. Oh wow, okay. And now it's kind of come full circle. I guess maybe that's the idea. Yeah, because this seems like the same animation we saw before. Uh huh. Now this feels like the ending to Final Fantasy VII. Okay. Well, that was a trip. I'm not entirely sure that I'm intelligent enough to decode the theme behind that, but I mean, it was cool to look at. All right, so here's the other thing that I wanted to do, right? I remember the tier list that I wanted to make last time. I was talking about how I'd forgotten it. I want to make a tier list for the new Avatar Magic the Gathering set, which, in case you don't know, we're big fans of Magic the Gathering. are big fans of Avatar: The Last Airbender. And so hearing this set was coming out, it was pretty hype. It's hard to get into it now because like just investing in this right now, it's just not really financially feasible. But I figured I'd make just a little tier list. So what I've got here, let me pull it up. No, that's wrong. So this, no. It's this. Okay. So what I've got here is a tier list of some Avatar MTG cards. Not necessarily in terms of their power, per se. Balance is kind of beside the point. What I was interested in is seeing how MTG as a format could bring The Last Airbender to life. And that's what we've got here. We've got a flavor tier list where at the very top, we've got Flavor Triumph, where the personality of the character or scene or location totally flawlessly comes across. It's very creative and clever, right? Followed by Flavor Win, Needs Flavor, which is kind of like I'm kind of indifferent about it, and then Flavor and Fail and Flavor Disaster, where it feels like totally disconnected or even counter to what you would expect, right? And so that's what we've got here. I actually also, excuse me, these are very teeny tiny little pictures. So I want to take a moment to pull up the full-size images so that they're easier to read. Where did I put them? There we go. That'll work way better. So now I can kind of put this to the side. Kind of. Or should I put it over here? Whoa, careful. There, that's easier to read. And then let me... No, that's bad. There, that should work. So first we've got Energy Bending, which I think is a flavor fail. This effect feels completely random. Actually, by the way, before I commence, this is obviously not all the MTG cards. This is just kind of like a little sample platter that I came up with, just based on cards that I had strong feelings about and I wanted to talk about. Because there's a lot of cards out there, and if I tried to talk about all of them, we'd be here all day. And frankly, there are some that I just don't have that much to say about. They're just fine. They're functional. I just wanted to talk about the ones that I wanted to talk about. And the first one is Energy Bending. And I think this is a flavor fail. It feels like a really random effect for the moment that it's trying to evoke. Lands you control gain all basic land types until end of turn. Wouldn't you think that energy bending would have some sort of ability loss associated with it? I don't know how many people remember when I was making my own fan made version of an Avatar MTG set, but my version of energy bending was to that effect. I also do not understand. Okay, no, actually, I do kind of understand why this is a lesson, because it was something that Aang was taught, right? Um, and that is the lesson down in the flavor text. So, I don't know. I feel like I'm actually going to go ahead and bump that up to needs flavor, but it's just it is not what I would expect in many ways. Now we've got our boy Aang. Of course, I had to check this guy out. There's a lot of different versions of Aang. This is the one I wanted to look at because it is the most simple. It's hard to do this with transforming cards, and a lot of versions of Aang transform. So I just wanted to look at this one, and it's it's simple enough. You know, he flies, he airbends, he's powerful. He's got a thing with lessons where he gains lifelink until on a turn. I mean, that's not it's not really a thing that Aang does. He doesn't. I don't know. It's weird. Mechanics wise, it's fine. You got to get lifelink in there because it would just be weird to not have it at all in a set. I think it is an evergreen keyword. I don't know. It's. I'm kind of neutral about this. I am kind of tempted to just put it in needs flavor. It's not very clever. Like the other one had flaws. Energy bending had flaws, but it had good things about it too. This one is just it earns a spot and needs flavor just by being very middle of the road, not very special or interesting. Airbender's reversal. I like the art. I like that I can pretty much tell exactly what moment this is. I think it's this is from Bato, the Water Tribe, maybe. But something that trips me up is the word destroy specifically. Destroy target attacking creature. And that's just very weird to catch on a card that is very clearly supposed to invoke airbenders. Airbenders aren't about destruction. They're not about lethal force. I mean, to some extent, it is obviously unavoidable. It is Magic the Gathering. A big vector to this game is creature on creature violence, each trying to overpower and destroy the other. But just seeing that word "destroy" on a card associated with airbenders just feels wrong. So I'll put that under flavor fail. Airbending lesson though is great. I mean, obviously it is a lesson, and this is actually a stand-in for all of the different lesson cards: airbending, earthbending, etc. I think they're all flavor wins. They just do what they're supposed to. And they let you do the thing that they say that they do: airbend and firebend and waterbend. Their lessons, they just click, honestly, and they're really at home. I actually am impressed with the inclusion of the lesson subtype in this set. That's not something that I would have ever even considered. I mean, you know that if you saw my fanmade set, it doesn't have any lessons in it. So that's fascinating. Avatar enthusiasts. This feels like a very random effect. Whenever another ally you control enters, put a +1 counter on this creature. You would think that it just, based on the famous, guy fainting and frothing of the mouth meme, you would think it would have something to do with tapping creatures down or stunning them. But instead, it's a creature that gets stronger when it should be a creature that invokes the idea of creatures getting weaker. I don't know. I'm kind of tempted to put this under flavor fail. Destined Confrontation as well. First off, I don't like the art. Why does it kind of look like Zuko is smiling? That doesn't seem right off the bat. Also, this is a white card for two firebenders fighting. One fighting for control and acquisition and superiority, and the other admittedly fighting for the forces of good and peace, I suppose. But Zuko, at the end of his story arc, his little character arc, which is when this takes place, I always saw him as more of like a green creature because so much of his character and his personality is fueled by his compassion for other living things. He has immense capacity for sympathy and empathy. And so this color doesn't seem right, and the effect is quite the opposite of what you would expect. Each player chooses any number of creatures they control with power 4 or less, then sacrifices all other creatures they control. This is about a showdown between two characters. So why is this a weird form of board wipe? I don't know. This honestly seems absolutely confusing in terms of color identity, mechanics, artwork. I think when I think about it, when I take inventory of all that, I think this straight up belongs in flavor disaster. Similarly, a lot of these Earthbender cards, I don't understand. I'm gonna go ahead and put them all in flavor fail for one reason. The Earth Kingdom Jailer, the Protectors or Defenders or whatever we're called. I'm just gonna go ahead and skip ahead. All the soldiers and stuff. These guys trip me up for one reason: the ally subtype. Why are they allies? As I recall, Team Avatar and the Earth Kingdom were quite at odds for a long time. And then before they ever truly became allies and worked together towards a common good, there was the military coup carried out by the Dialese, then controlled by Azula. And so their efforts to team up against the Fire Nation fell apart. So that's weird. I don't know why they're allies. That one bit trips them up. I suppose in terms of effect, they're okay. This is what you'd expect from a card named Earth Kingdom Jailer, so I guess I will go ahead and bump him up to needs flavor. This guy too, it really is just the ally part that trips me up. Fancy footwork is cool. It's a neat effect that I think goes well with this moment in the series. I've seen a card like this before, back when I played, what was it called, like Dominaria United or whatever. So I'll go ahead and call this a flavor win. Gather the White Lotus, I'm going to go ahead and say, is a flavor fail, though. Because your ability to make this effect go off, it's based on how many of the same land type you control. And that is, in my opinion, counter to what the White Lotus is all about. It's about allies from all across the world, from all different nations and locations and such. So you would really expect this to have an effect based on the number of basic land types among lands you control. Not how many planes you control. That's weird. I don't like that. I'd rather it be cheaper and it be based on different basic land types. So that's a fail. Path to Redemption is a win, though. I really like this. Every aspect of this is reflective of Iroh's character arc. It's an enchantment, first and foremost, and a big part of Iroh's development was becoming more spiritual. Can't attack or block, so yes, there was a time when he was not part. I don't know if he was really, if he left the military. He was more like semi-retired. He was disgraced, basically. They still call him General Iroh. And then, he shares an exile with Zuko, and then he becomes an ally. So that, I think, is great. I'm even tempted to bump this all the way up to Flavor Triumph. The fact that everything about this clicks flavor-wise goes a big way towards it being a Flavor Triumph. Southern Air Temple, though, this bothers me. This, I think, is a flavor fail because it lacks connectivity with other shrines, I think. Because there's the Southern Air Temple, right? And there's also, I believe, the Northern Air Temple is down here somewhere. But the Western Air Temple is just like a generic land. It's just a generic plains. And as far as I can tell, the Eastern Air Temple is not featured here. There's also Abandoned Air Temple, which I meant to include on this list, but I guess I didn't. I don't understand. Here it is, Abandoned Air Temple. Why flavor-wise, are the air temples all over the place? Like, these are both the Southern Air Temple, but one's an enchantment, one's a land. This one is a land. The Northern Air Temple is an enchantment. There's no Eastern Air Temple. There needed to be synthesis between these different cards for them to not be a collective flavor fail. And I'll tell you what's a flavor disaster. Team Avatar. It's Team Avatar, but its effect is based on creatures attacking alone? What is that about? That is terrible. Flavor disaster. Benevolent River Spirit. I think it's a cool card. A lot of what it does, I think, works for this, what this creature represents. I just don't know why it's not legendary and why it's not called the Painted Lady. That's very weird. This is clearly evocative of a very specific character, and yet it's not legendary. And you'll run into that a lot. If I can just go ahead, I'll go ahead and put this in needs flavor, but I want to go ahead and just skip ahead to a lot of these lands that are not legendary when they should be, and I don't really get it. So, like Agnikella, Ba Sing Se, the Boiling Rock, the Fire Nation Palace, the Secret Tunnel. The Secret Tunnel, I will go ahead and bump that up to needs flavor. Because a lot of these are just kind of, I don't know, they don't click for me. Like Agnikella, you really would have thought it would have something to do with spirits, but it doesn't. Ba Sing Se does have something to do with earthbending, though. And Fire Nation Palace has firebending. But the Boiling Rock is just part of this generic, like, pay for and tap and sack to draw, sack the land to draw a card. So that's disappointing that that's not more mechanically unique. Like, Boiling Rock and Omashu are mechanically extremely similar. I don't get that. So a lot of these, I think, are just flavor fails. The decision to take all these really unique, iconic locations and make them not legendary, and all have the same effect, just to like shoehorn them into a cycle is so boring to me. I don't like any of them from a mechanical standpoint. And that whole bit of just paying a lot and sacking a land to draw a card, just no, thank you. That does not appeal to me at all. Ember Island Production, though, I am tempted to say that is a flavor triumph. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and say that's a flavor triumph, because the idea that when it copies your creatures, they're heroes, and when it copies your opponent's creatures, they're cowards. I knew right away that if Ember Island, not even if, when Ember Island played a role in this set, it was going to be some manner of copy effect, some manner of clone. And seeing this, it's just perfect. That is really good. Forecasting Fortune Teller, however, that is a flavor fail because she's a phony. She's a phony, and so instead of providing you with some sort of like beneficial effect, I thought it would make more sense if she had a detrimental effect to your opponents. In my version of Avatar MTG, she had a Fate Seal effect, and I thought that made a lot more sense. Honest Work, this is a flavor win. Even if it's not a terribly powerful effect, and it does even kind of have some upside for your opponents, just everything about the concept of this just clicks. And that is what we're talking about here. I think New Capenna had something like this. I think it was called like Witness Protection or whatever. The idea that the creature actually not only becomes base power and toughness 1/1 and it's a citizen, but it also changes their name. I think that's really good. Now this tech box, here's the thing. I would have really liked it if it also made the creature not legendary anymore. And it's actually, hold on a second. This is actually something kind of interesting to consider, like a strange side effect, right? Because of the way the legend world works. I want you to imagine a scenario in which two different legendary creatures are enchanted with Honest Work. If they both have the same name, doesn't that mean the legend rule would then kick in? So this should have also made the creature not legendary anymore. Unless that's implied. No, it doesn't say it becomes. It says it is a citizen. Oh, no, hold on. It says it loses all other creature types and names. It doesn't say anything about super types. So if this enchants two different legendary creatures, does one of them go to the graveyard? They're both legendary and they both have the same name now? Interesting side effect. And could be beneficial, if true. Because it means that your second Honest Work could work as honest, straight up removal. But this isn't about how good the card is. It's about how flavorful it is. And I think this is a flavor win. Sokka's Haiku. Seeing Sokka's Haiku is what inspired me to create a tier above flavor win. Because it's a haiku. Like, it is literally a haiku. You read the effects. And you look at the formatting. Because this is kind of a weird format, right? You don't necessarily know why, like, each of these is a separate line, but then you realize that it is quite literally a haiku. Like, the text box is a haiku, and that's just perfect. The way that they managed to come up with that, and the fact that all of these effects are in line with blue, it's perfect. I don't necessarily know why it's a lesson, but that is small potatoes compared to the triumph that is the text box. Beetle-headed merchants is a flavor win. Uh, sacrificing a creature or artifact. I would have preferred if you got a treasure counter out of this, but I guess they just, as far as I know, there's no treasure at all in this set. That's just not what they felt like doing. Which I guess that's okay. Don't want to have too much stuff going on at the same time, I suppose. Buzzard Wasp Colony. I like this. I'd say this is a flavor win as well. The idea that it scavenges counters off of dead creatures. Only ones you control, though. I think it would have been a lot spicier if it was any creature. But I'm still going to call this a flavor win. Corrupt Court Official. I think I'm going to put this in needs flavor. Flavor fail category is actually like pretty full already. Admittedly, it's a little inflated because I included all of these different lands. But Corrupt Court Official. I wish it had been something where something was chosen at random. Like if there are multiple options and one of them could be chosen, like under some circumstance you chose one at random because of the Wheel of Punishment, that would have made a lot more sense. But he is common. I guess they wanted to deliberately make him very simple. Day of Black Sun. This is tough because to some extent, I get it. The losing abilities, I kind of get the destruction. What makes this weird, and what bumps it down to needs flavor tier, is that actually no. Hold on a second. I'm actually thinking about this the wrong way, because the Day of Black Sun was the day that the Allied forces invaded the Fire Nation, right? So it was an attack on the Fire Nation. And I'm thinking, this is really good if you're running Earthbending. Because then your Earthbent lands just come back as lands. As I understand it, they do. Because the effect that brings them back, that's not an ability that the lands have. That's just part of Earthbending. It's like a delayed trigger effect, as I understand. So that part still works. I'm actually going to go ahead and bump this up to flavor win, because I actually got this backwards. Fatal Fissure, though. It's called Fatal Fissure. Why does it not destroy a creature? Why does it instead just why is it an accessory to some sort of like creature death? Where it says choose target creature, when that creature dies, you get this cool thing. That feels dumb. And I know this isn't about power per se, but paying that much for that effect that is conditional, that's bad. I'm gonna say that's a flavor fail. Fire Nation Drill. It does. I get the part where it permanents to your opponent's control lose hexproof and indestructible. It still bothers me that this does not in any way interact with walls. It has a lot of what it needs, but I don't know why it doesn't interact with walls at all, and I don't understand why it is black. Why it is a black permanent. Because when colored artifacts were first introduced way back in Alara block, it made sense because they were like very magical artifacts. This is just a big machine. I would think that it would just be straight up colorless. Northern Inner Temple we talked about. Ozai's Cruelty, I think, is going to be a flavor triumph. Because you read the flavor text and it all clicks. You will learn respect and suffering will be your teacher. So you totally get why this is a lesson. And then it deals a little damage and then the person is traumatized after, represented by them discarding 2 cards. So that is a flavor triumph, I think. So is no, not. I won't say this is a flavor triumph. It's just a flavor win. But the whole like -2/-2, and then gaining life because you're like draining the water from them. That's pretty cool. Combustion Man. This is so much more interesting mechanically than what I had come up with Combustion Man, where it's an ultimatum. You get to destroy target permanents unless the controller, like the defending player, lets Combustion Man punch them in the face. And also, I just gotta say, the Combustion Man art goes hard. That is so cool. He looks like Batista. He really does look like Batista when he played Brass Body in Man with the Iron Fists. Only even cooler. Because, like, holy crap. That's like if Batista was Sephiroth. Like, that is really good. I love that. Flavor Triumph. I feel really good about this card. Faded Firepower, I think, is really good. I actually prefer this to the ones that's just straight up called Sozin's Comet. So I'll go ahead and put that under flavor win. Just Brainwashing. Again, this is a flavor triumph. The way that everything about this lines up. The way that's like target creature can't block this turn is already evocative of brainwashing. Then there's the little like act of treason, betrayal, whatever you want to call it. And then create a clue token because that is what happens. Jet's brainwashing winds up being a clue as to the deeper machinations of the Earth Kingdom and the Dai. So this is really cool. That is a flavor triumph. The last Agni Kai. So it's a fight effect. That it really is what you would expect. And that's some red mana. That is in line with what the Fire Nation does in this set. Also the part where unspent red mana is not lost that turn, which is slightly more powerful than Firebending. The only thing that keeps this from being a flavor triumph is this should have been a legendary instance. I know that's a strange, out there, obscure concept. Legendary instance and sorceries aren't used much. But it would have been nice if they could have squeezed that in. But I know that this text box is already quite chock full, so maybe they couldn't. Or they felt like they couldn't. Redirect Lightning, the thing that makes this I think a flavor triumph, isn't just that it's a lesson, it's also the additional cost. Because, if you channel it through your stomach, it's fine. If you channel it through your heart, then as Ira says, the damage can be deadly. So that's pretty slick. Slick flavor. Twin Blades, on the other hand. I won't say it's a flavor fail. Say it needs flavor, because both of these effects work, but I feel like they should have been reversed. Instead of only giving the creature double strike until end of turn, and then giving the creature +1/+1 permanently, it should have been +1/+1 until end of turn, double strike permanently. Because they're always Twin Blades. Weird. Really weird. War Balloon. War Balloon, I'm tempted to say, is a flavor disaster, honestly. Because why is it one toughness away from having the same body as the Phoenix Fleet airship, or whatever it's called? The airship is Titanic. It is actually like tens of times larger than the War Balloon. So why are they almost the same size? That doesn't make sense. The fact that it has crew 3 doesn't make sense. One person should be able to crew the war balloon just fine. So I don't know why it is this big, clunky vehicle. I don't get it. You thought that it would have been much, much tinier. Just like a little itty bitty flying vehicle. As it is, terrible, honestly. Zhao the Moonslayer, the decision to dip into a legendary, well, not literally legendary, not a legendary, like a famous magic card for the inspiration for the design for this, I think was very inspired. Because this is obviously meant to be evocative of the famous Blood Moon card. And I think that's really cool. The art is cool. It just works. Everything about this just clicks. I think this is a flavor triumph. Cycle of Renewal. I think this card costs a little too much, but again, this is about power, this is about flavor, and the fact that it's a lesson, and just the way that the effect works. I think that's enough to call this a flavor win. Diligent Zookeeper, I would put under flavor fail. No, I'm just going to put it underneath flavor because I like the text box for the most part. I don't understand why it's only up to a maximum of 10. Because it already says non-human. That already excludes shapeshifters or any creature with changeling. Because by definition, all changelings are humans. So that's kind of weird. Also, I don't get why this is an ally. That just seems like really random typing there. And also just the number, maximum of 10. How many non-changelings are out there with up to 10 creature types? How many ways are there, realistically, to bolt extra creature types onto the creatures you have? As far as I can tell, there's no way. There is actually no way that you could ever possibly get that all the way up to 10. Not unless you had a way to cause a changeling to lose their human typing. Maybe then. Maybe. I don't know. That's weird. So I guess I kind of do. No, I'll just keep it in needs flavor. Earth Kingdom General, again, I don't know why this is an ally. But I guess other than that, it's not really a big problem. Just put it under needs flavor. We're already talking about Earthen Ally. This is weird. I actually don't remember including this. I don't know. I just don't remember an Earth Kingdom Soldier being an ally. This card seems like it comes out of nowhere. Foggy Swamp Vinebender not interacting with swamps at all makes a lot of sense. Doesn't make a lot of sense. So I'll put that underneath flavor. Sparring Dummy has a lot of untapped potential. If you'll remember my version of this, it was a food. It was also a noble. I guess in terms of effect, it's not that bad. The one thing that saves this from being a flavor fail is the flavor text, where Toph's epithet is listed as Melon Lord. So I think that works. Turtle Duck is dumb, and I think is a flavor fail. The idea of a Turtle Duck gaining a base power 4 and trample. Think about this. Think about this Turtle Duck mother getting into a duel to the death with like a Cyclops, and it's a stalemate. That does not make any sense. Abandoned attachments, though, everything about this is great. Definitely a flavor triumph. The idea that you discard a card to draw 2 cards. The idea that it is associated with the 7th chakra, which is itself associated with the color violet. And then you've got a card that is hybrid blue and red. Like, they really knocked it out of the park with this one. Beifong's Bounty Hunters. I'm actually really pleased with how they pulled this one off, because I didn't even think to give these guys a card. They seemed like such small timers in the grand scheme of things. Like I'm not even sure they qualified as secondary villains. They were more like tertiary or perhaps even quaternary villains. But in terms of effects and matching the colors, it's good. I mean, obviously you can see why they're green and then they're black because they're mercenaries. So that's pretty good. I like the effects that's based on non-land creatures dying. It's only non-land creatures you control, though, which is very weird. I don't know about that, actually. I would have actually preferred it if this card was a little more costly and it affected creatures your opponents control. So in that sense, I'm actually going to bump it down to needs flavor. I thought it was just any non-land creature. So that's not good. Bitter Work is great, though. I actually really like the flavor on this. I think that's going to be a flavor triumph. The idea that it doesn't do anything right away, but then bears fruit when you attack with powerful creatures. And mechanically, it is designed in such a way that it is the most guaranteed way to get it off. Phrasing is to use the exhaust ability to earthbend, and like that is the triumph of this card. Once you earthbend, you get the effect that you wanted. That's pretty good. That is clever. They cooked with this. That's a flavor triumph. Daily Agents, I am tempted to say, is a flavor disaster. I'm just going to go ahead and say it. I don't understand their color identity, and they don't even strike me as big, awesome brawlers. They're not terrible earthbenders by any means, but the thing that makes Daily Agents stand out is that they are really shifty. They're conniving. They are referred to as the how do they phrase it? The cultural authority of Ba Sing Se. And their adherence to the concepts of order and peace by any means. You'd think they'd be white. My Daily Agents were white when I made my fan-made set. Making them black and green and just making them like big dumb brawlers, that doesn't click at all to me. I don't like that. Flavor disaster. And we already talked about the Lieutenant. Firelord Zuko. I like his text box. The only thing that trips me out and makes it just kind of a flavor win instead of a flavor triumph is, why is there a black pip in his mana cost? What is it about this creature at this stage in his life and his effect that makes him that earns him that black pip? That seems weird. I don't understand his color identity entirely. I get why he's red, obviously, and I get why he's white. So 2 out of 3 ain't bad. Guru Patik, I like his effect. I think it is quite flavorful. He helps you find lessons, sagas, and shrines, and pays you off for playing them. It's also just really pretty artwork. His color identity also really clicks, I think. So I'm going to call this. Ooh, I'm really tempted to. Yeah, this is a flavor triumph. I like this. Hammond the Bloodbender. I like this. This design I think is clever. Overall, the way bloodbending is employed in this set, I think, is really great. Because it's more creative than what I had come up with. I had only managed to come up with varying forms of control magic. But the idea of being able to like steal spells or steal opponents' like phases in combat, all very clever. Heibai Spirit of Balance is a flavor disaster. His color identity, I think, is. You could make an argument for it, but to me, it's just the most simplistic mindset of, oh, it's a panda. Of course, it has to be black and white, right? Without much regard to its actual color identity as a character. But the idea that when it attacks, you get to sacrifice a creature artifact. The whole point of Heibai is that it is an avenging spirit of the forest that attacks when its respective forest is burned to the ground. It is not about sacrifice. It is quite the opposite, in fact. So that is really weird. If anything, you would think this would be like white and black and maybe red and have some sort of get back effect whenever an opponent, a spell or effect an opponent controls, destroy something of yours. Specifically lands, I suppose, even though there's not a lot of that. So might want to make it more broad and just say like any permanent of yours. I don't know. I just feel like they really dropped the ball with this in a lot of ways. Katara the Fearless. I could never have imagined a green Katara, and I still kind of don't. But the flavor text paired with the effect that she has, where she supports other allies, I think it makes her a flavor win. Long Fang. Well, let me just read this text box to refresh my memory. Whenever another creature you control or landing control is put into a yard from the field. Why doesn't it just say dies? Put a +1/+1 counter on target. This is that's a flavor disaster. He has the same problem as the Dai, where I don't understand where he's black-green. From a philosophical standpoint, I don't think he is Golgari coded at all. And the way that he is supportive, that Long Fang is not supportive at all in the show. He is conniving and manipulative, power hungry, absolutely 100% out for himself. He is not supportive. I don't get it. Pretending Poxbearers has such a boring design. I would say this is a flavor fail. Why does it not have any form of evasion? Because the whole idea is that they pretend to be sick, then nobody wants to touch them or be around them at all, and so they're allowed to escape from imprisonment in the city of New Ozai. So the lack of any kind of evasion really bothers me. That's a flavor fail. Professor Say is a win, though. I like how everything about his design represents his reckless pursuit of knowledge. Sokka Bull Boomeringer, the fact that he does not in any way interact with permanents you control being returned to hand, or any permanents at all being returned to hand, I think makes him a flavor fail. Because this is the one that's all about him just using his boomerang. Tenacious Tactician, on the other hand, though, this I think is a big flavor win. Love to see Sokka striking a pose in his war gear. I think his color identity totally clicks. Pretty much all his effects list. I'm actually just going to go ahead and upgrade those to Flavor Triumph. They did my boy good. Toph the First Metal Bender. I think this is quite clever. Turning giving non-token artifacts you control the land type. And then obviously Earthbending on top of that. That's definitely... yeah, I'll go ahead and say that's a Flavor Triumph. I think that's a clever design. I'm not necessarily sure how effective it is, but that is really cool. You'll notice it does not say non-creature artifacts. So if you have any artifact creatures, then Toph is totally for them, and we'll buff them through the roof. That is really cool. Also, just giving them massive protection because so many forms of interaction have a non-land clause in them. So making them impossible to be targeted using those types of effects, that's really good. But we're not talking about power. We're talking about flavor. And even then, this is still a Flavor Triumph. Vindictive Warden. I'll call it Flavor Fail just on the basis that he is not legendary. Why not? This is a very specific named character. And there's not enough going on with this text box that makes him feel unique or interesting. Not like Zuko Conflicted. The way that he switches sides. Like he's very powerful, but also switches sides. On top of having really sick artwork. I am definitely tempted to... yeah, that's a Flavor Triumph. Barrels of Blasting Jelly, I think this is... it's a fail. It's a flavor fail. For a couple reasons. One is I don't get the mana filtering aspect of Blasting Jelly. The other thing is that it can deal damage to creatures, but considering its role in the story, I wish instead of dealing damage, it just said destroy. And I wish it also said target creature or vehicle. Because it was used to blow up a non-crude vehicle in the story. Fire Nation Warship, I'll call this a flavor win, because I like that they gave it reach. That was something I did not consider. If you watch the show, the Fire Nation warships are very capable of harassing Team Avatar even when they're airborne. Like, whenever they're riding on Appa's back, and they got those nasty little trebuchets constantly flinging hot garbage at them. I think that's really... I think that design is really smart. Sorry, I was looking at the design of the pagoda, and I thought it looked kind of weird. I hope they didn't use AI for that, because that doesn't look right. Meteor Sword. I like the way that when it enters, you destroy target permanent, because, ore was harvested from the meteor to make the sword. The thing that puts this in Need's flavor is that, again, it is not legendary. I don't know why they're suddenly shy about handing out the legendary typing. What does the boss thing say? Yeah, I'm going to say it straight up. This is a terrible creature. It is garbage. It is one of those really flashy, flowery cards that's supposed to wow you with big numbers and impressive art. But paying 8 just for a big wall. And the other things permanents you control have indestructible. The wall itself is not indestructible. It's just open to any form of interaction. Imagine paying 8 mana and just instantly getting shut down. And you get nothing for your investment. that's not the way that Magic the Gathering works anymore. Like, this is borderline unplayable. But we're not talking about the power. We're talking about the flavor. And the art is just so strong. The art is strong. The concept is I think executed well. Everything about the body and the text box is very evocative. So I will call this a flavor win, even though I think it is objectively a horrible card. We already talked about a lot of these. Rumble Arena. The fact that, again, it's not legendary, and not only is it not legendary, but it doesn't have any of the interactions that you would affect. It has nothing to do with creatures dying, has nothing to do with fighting. It doesn't have anything to do with treasure. It's just totally random. And I'll say this as well, does not look at all like the ring I remember. Maybe I don't actually remember what Rumble Arena looked like. I don't remember it looking like this. But I don't know. I think this is a fail. Same goes for Secret... No, not Secret Tunnel. Not this. White Lotus Hideout. Because it can tap for 1 mana of any color, but only spend it on lessons or shrines, not allies. This should be absolutely ally coded. The fact that it doesn't interact with them at all, instead it's about lessons or shrine. Lessons I kind of get, but shrines, I don't get it. I don't get it at all. It's really random. But that's your tier list in a nutshell, right? If I can just expand this a bit, make it slightly more readable. So it was actually kind of 50-50, I think. Like, imagine, if you will, like, if I can just get rid of some of these lands, right? Because a lot of them are mechanically, like, very, very similar. I'll go ahead and ditch these. No, I can't. Once they've been slotted, they can't be unslotted. Okay, that's a little bit annoying, but whatever. Just imagine, like, not as many lands in Flavor Fail as there is, but it's kind of even, but tending more towards being a net good. I think they did cook with this art, with this set in terms of flavor. Just sometimes not quite how I would want it to be. That's all. And so, with that said and done, the last thing I wanted to do, almost the last thing, because I didn't want to let on, but there is one. Actually, you know what? No, not yet. Not yet. There's one extra secret thing that I want to do. I want to just go ahead and play like one quick map. One quick map to round this out. I don't know. I really just tacked on BTD6 because I was afraid that the stream was going to wind up being really underfed, but I think we're going to come out at a pretty fair length. I don't know. Candy Falls? Not with Brickle, though. Sada. Man, I don't know if I said it before, but Viking Sada is so much better than default Sada. Like, this design clicks with me so much more. Where did she even get the scar on her face? All she fights is blooms. Never mind the commotion outside my door. I think it's just a cat. Let's play this on Unpoppable. Oh, whoops. Hold on a second. Slow up. We are not No. I don't play with double cash or fast track on stream. I do it because I've already played a lot of these levels on mobile version, and so I just kind of wanted to get caught up on the Steam version. But no, we don't do it like that. So let's open up Asada and see how we do. Because that's a pretty sweet little spot right there. Hopefully she should be good enough. I've got the thing that kicks her off at level 3, so thankfully I already have her ability. But I want to try and save up first and foremost for a village, like down here, and then build around it. But I'm not entirely sure how well that's going to go. I might be getting ahead of myself. If it doesn't go well, then I'm going to have to cash in my free glue gunner early. Because Sada and glue together is pretty spicy. This is a really ideal position for her, though. Alright, I'm going to turn off auto start now. Okay, now let's be very careful and specific about this placement. Because I'm going to be setting up my usual primary defense, but also for good measure, I really want a Buccaneer. Like in either one of these two corners, I know you can't see me pointing, but one of these two spaces next to the bridge. It would also probably be nice to have like a preemptive strike. So I think right there is pretty good. Maybe a little more. I'll put it directly below this lollipop. How about that? All right, we are still hanging tough, but it's getting a little tight, just a little bit. So if I can bust out this guy, I don't know. I don't know. Not yet. I want to get the bigger radius upgrade first to feel out how best to space my my towers. I should be able to afford it. Yep, right now. Now, are pink balloons going to start showing up? Not yet. Not yet. We're actually good. It's not until pink balloons show up that Sada starts having trouble. There we go. Wow. Still. Okay. Now the pink balloons are going to start showing up. I couldn't remember right away. There. I'll just go ahead and use her ability right here and now to make sure everything goes smoothly. Okay. That's fine. Because I'm going to be upgrading the range on that. So I think that is a pretty perfect placement. I'll go ahead and get that right now. And yeah, that's already a big help. That's a big help, and I'm going to go ahead and cash in my free glue gunner now. always set him to strong. I do anyway. But when I want to save up for, yeah. I've started doing that a lot more. I'm sure I've talked about it before, but it used to be that I always built out the top and middle paths. Like, it would be like an X2O village because I wanted the radar scanner. But at some point, I realized that going XO2 and just picking up like a little wizard with shimmer, way more bang for your buck. And that's the way I feel about it anyway. I know everybody has their own groove. But I can't just gawk at the upgrade screen. The way that the map is stretched, the way that the track is stretched, almost all the way across the map, I gotta be able to. Let me go ahead and position it like this so it's easier for you guys to see. I want to be able to see all the action that's going on. Commerce. I don't know. It is almost tempting to build a second village so I can get Monkey Town going. But at these early levels, no. It's starting to get to the point where I'm going to need to invest more in my defense. So I'll start with stickier glue. It is really time to start building up my defenses against the eventual round 40 MOAB. Okay. So I'll build up my glue. And next I'll get a Ranger. We good? Yeah, we good. So you chill out right there. I always make a beeline for the anti-MOAB upgrades first, just to make sure that I can afford them. Even if that is a riskier play. Because when you're not up against MOABs, I mean, you're really missing out on like faster firing with this guy or better coverage with this guy. Kalia Boomerang is really powerful, though. It's one of my favorite upgrades. And the leads are going to be showing up soon. Thankfully, I already have my red hot rings going. I'm disappointed that the long range upgrade isn't just called long rang. Yes? Oh, I missed that one pathetic little red balloon right there. Thought the game was glitching out. There, now this guy's way stronger. Now, where should I put this guy? I think that should be okay. Once its range is fully upgraded, it should have coverage of the entrance. Set that to strong. This guy's set to strong. No, he's not. Missile launcher. I always thought it was strange that the bomb tower is not military coded. Or that it's not. It is military coded, but it's not strictly speaking military categorized. Mob Mauler. So everybody but this guy is set to strong you. And more camo balloons are starting to show up. I will need Shimmer by the time round 42 comes around. But now let's go ahead and save up for the Mob Press and hopefully Mob Glue as well. I still haven't needed to use Sada's ability very much. Come on. I still do think that the fast forward in this game is not fast enough. Mob Press. And Mob Glue should be going soon. I'm pretty sure I got the upgrade that makes Mob Glue extra slow. Makes it slow balloons extra, I should say. And this isn't poppable. This isn't chimps. So my monkey knowledge is working. So that'll also help against normal balloons. Oh boy. Those white ones are scary because they're often genuinely hard to see. Depending on what track you're playing. Alright, now Sada is attacking faster. I forgot about this effect. Extra damage if they're stunned. Oh, and she can pop frozen balloons. I forgot about that. I usually don't pay too much attention to stuff like that. But there we go. We got Mob Glue just in time. Isn't that nice? We may need to use an ability, though. Let's see how we do. Nice. That is very nice. And we've got quite a bit of extra money to work with, so let's get this and this. And then this. And there you go. We should crush it. Not as crushed as I expected. But now it is time for the wizard to join the fray. Like right here. Monkey Sense. Monkey Sense, honestly, should already be enough to tip the scales for this battle. But Shimmer doesn't hurt. I think at this point my defenses are strong enough that I can start farming. And by the way, I finally got the Banana Farmer Pro. He's only like level 1, I think. But yeah. So let's see if we can start... ooh, I don't know. I don't know, man. No, I think we're going to have to crank things up a little bit. Actually, you know what? But instead of just getting a new tower right away... No. I'm going to go ahead and get my Dart Monkey. Because this is when ceramics start showing up a lot more. So I think I am... doesn't reach far enough. You know what? What if I do it like this? I'll get this. And then primary training, and then primary whatever it's called. Primary mentoring. And then the range of the village should reach far enough. If this round would hurry up. That's what I was saying, is I still don't feel like fast forward is fast enough. So can I do it now? Are you serious? Oh. Oh, picky. Picky. Picky eater. But now we can get these for free. Yeah, that's pretty good. It's not exactly a straight line, but I think it's straight enough that we're going to get a lot of use out of the Juggernaut. Just in time for round 49, which has, like, it's pretty thick with balloons. There. We still haven't done a lot of farming. And by a lot, not a lot, I mean none at all. So I think now's the time to start doing that. There. Now, what's the range on this guy? It's pretty freaking far, right? Yes, it is. Can I get another village to make the upgrades for these farms? No, that's not right. Let's up the... Oh, no. There. Do it like that. Bigger radius. And then... Hello? Oh, was that too far? Nope, it's just good enough. And then this... I was never too clear on whether it's better to spam a lot of itty-bitty farms right away and then upgrade them later, or focus on just upgrading one farm at a time. Yeah, and by the way, you'll notice now that regular mobs, they just can't hang. Yep, there you go. There's that. There's... Oh. I don't suppose I could possibly squeeze in both of those at the same time, could I? No? Okay. Hold on a second. Because I may want to do one of these blokes as well. No, I can fit him in here. Oh, but he's not surrounded by a lot of farms. If I do it like that. Here, I'll put this guy in right away. He'll go right here, and then this guy will go up here. Please. And that's still in range. And then, let me check the range again. You gotta keep rechecking. Ooh, can I? Oh, wow. I didn't think I would be able to get that one in range as well. Alright, keep it going. Man, there's so much room for farms here. Whoa, careful. I'll focus on these ones for now. Because it's cheap to upgrade them. There, that's better. And then we just ride the gravy train for a while because the 50s are pretty easy, especially when you already know to be prepared for 59, which is absolutely a beginner's trap, and it's out to blindside you with a huge formation of camo leads. Yeah, we're doing pretty solid now. Sada does not even need to do much. She's just gonna have to start doing some exercise to keep her physique because she's not doing a lot of fighting anymore. Oh, here we go. Now she has to do something. Oh, now that these are like this, I should really start cross pathing. Keep it going. I really should turn auto start on now, because now I'm in the farming phase of doing things. The next round I have to worry about is 63. There's the BFB, handled quite handily. And I guess now I'll upgrade this guy so he can start earning me some money as well. Turn off auto start right now, please and thank you. I wish there was some sort of mark to let you know which ones are definitely in range, because like this one way over here, I don't know. What if I take it up? Okay, so how do we want to do this? I think, I don't know, can I afford this in time? There we go. Actually, we're doing pretty okay now. Round 63 handled. Now we can just keep going and going. The next one we got to worry about is round 78. That's the next tough one. So I guess now I can get some more farms. A lot more farms. Well, let me get this. There you go. One more? Down here? Possibly? No? No, wow, okay. Alright. Alright, we're all farmed out, I guess. I really thought I had room for more. Oh, gotta remember that ability, though. Monkey Town. So this cash generate, I believe this boosts your farm's productivity. I've been using Monkeypolis a lot more, like a whole lot more. And now this guy is popping balloons. So let me go ahead and get that Monkey Town, that Monkey City. And I'm not clear. Does upgrading these first and then building Monkeypolis make Monkeypolis like give you more? Logically, it should. And then at some point, I'm going to need to pick up an engineer. These guys really got it on lock. They're doing super duper good right now. So let's not get that yet. Let's get this. I might want to get the Spirit of the Forest before 78. Although we've already made it quite a ways. I mean, we're in the 70s. I said I want a preemptive strike. I know I've said this before, but it still really mystifies me. If DDTs are supposed to have the properties of black, if DDTs are really supposed to have the properties of black balloons, then why does preemptive strike work? Is that not an explosive attack? Hold on a second. Let me look this up. Because I'm very much curious. I'll wait until this round is over. and then look it up. Why does preemptive strike work on DDTs? Powerful missile attack. This doesn't explain. I can go to Steam Community. No, I mean, I'm kind of glossing over it because, I mean, there's just a lot of words. But I would very much be curious to know, like, can anybody tell me or comment in the VOD what damage type preemptive strike is? Because you would really think it would be explosive and therefore not work on black balloons, but whatever. I can almost afford. There we go. This should be enough. And let's go ahead and turn auto start back on. And now this ability should net us more money. Man, Spirit of the Force is great. Like, how can you look at this and not think it's the best Druid path? Come on. Hit this. Come on. Although I shouldn't be complaining that it takes so long to get rid of ZOMGs, because that gives my abilities more time to regenerate or cool down or whatever you want to call it. The 80s are really not hard at all. If you can beat round 78, then you're set all the way up to 90. Another factory. Should be getting our last one real soon. And then there you go. Auto start off. Please and thank you. I hate that you can't use this in between rounds. And there you go. There's your Monkeyopolis. And then we can build these again. Second verse, same as the first. Oh, this one did not get consumed. Can I put... Can I? Yeah, that's well within range. And I accidentally clicked on the Impa Wimpa. Not in range of Monkeyopolis, but whatever. Oops. Well, at least I didn't accidentally build a bank, right? I used to do just banks. Like when I first started this game, when I first started playing, I was all about Ben all the time. I would pretty much only use him as my hero, and I would always build a ton of banks. At some point, I just got really sick to my stomach of the constant micromanaging. We are coming up on our first DDTs, so I think now is the time to dial back on the farming and just go ahead and get a preemptive strike as soon as we possibly can. It should be really soon. Because our farm game is strong now. And there you go. And advanced intel, and there you go. We've got our DDT solution, and we've got another 10 rounds to farm as much as we want. Because there really isn't much that can harm us at this point. And because DDTs are so fast, I don't even need to really change targeting priority at all. And I got a little something in one of my eyes. Oh, I forgot to turn this into a factory. Or no, that's the factory that was still left over. So I didn't forget. It's just weird. I could bust my bollocks getting an ultra boost or whatever it's called, but at this late stage, I think it's time to stop saving up money and start cashing it in. Because we've got DDTs taken care of, but these tight formations of fortified blimps, that's another thing. So I'll go ahead and get yeah, mob domination. Mob domination. I never got heavy bombs. How embarrassing. And then this, and then mob eliminator, and then I will absolutely 100% be able to afford primary expertise real soon. You know, I always used to get a Pirate Lord, but very slowly I've been falling out of love with them. Because now I see how in these late stages, the whole spamming the hook shot attack just doesn't cut it. Unless you're running Brickle, it would really need to be a very water centric map where you can run Brickle and get an Energizer, and then that ability comes back ridiculous. Actually, I'm not sure. Does Brickle affect cooldown on abilities of water towers at all? I don't remember at all. There's that. We can get the Inferno Ring, which would not buy for some reason. Inferno Rings, that's a strong. I never got. I never got bigger gloves or glue splatter. Once I switched gears to focusing on farming, it totally slipped my mind to get these very basic upgrades. So I guess I might as well get super glue. And Ultra Juggernaut. The free monkeys I never even used. Yep, these guys are taken care of. Is there anything else I might want to get? Since it's only the bad that's left, I might as well build the super brittle if I can afford it. There, I'll put him right at the front. He's the vanguard. And then money, and then this, and then this. There. Easy. I mean, I know it's an easy map, but I mean, hey, you gotta give me a little credit, right? And the collection event that I completely forgot about. How about that? I got this guy. I forget what he's called, but he's pretty cool. And then this guy. The only druid path I don't much care for is the bottom one. Like, the first one is the best. And the top one I just really like because I like lightning. I like lightning and electric stuff. That's my aesthetic. That and dragons. Lightning and dragons. So obviously in kind of a fantasy setting where there's a lightning dragon, that's obviously going to be my favorite, yeah. But that is going to do it for BTD6, and that's going to do it for this stream. Almost. Because I have one little extra thing. I wasn't going to do this at first, but now that we've made it to 10 subscribers, I'm going to go ahead and give you guys a little something extra. It is a preview to our next visual update. Because you remember, once upon a time, this channel looked very different, yeah? I used to have a much more like simple and clean overlay that was it still had the azure and the ruby and the topaz colors, but instead of violet it was seafoam green. Well, now I am really getting in the mood to change things up again because I'm an artist, you know, and I'm a big fan of graphic design, and I think cooking up the look of this channel is like my favorite part. So I'm going to go ahead and give you a little preview. It's going to be our new logo. So you can see the old one in our very first one in the banner, and then obviously the current one down here, and then this. It might need a little tweaking. This is just like the prototype version. I don't know if this is going to go through or not, but this is what I came up with for the new logo. Let me bring that up. There you go. That's going to be the new logo. I think it is going to need some work. But you see now the P in productions has been incorporated into the design. And the plan is to switch out the violet with some nice sumptuous pink. And from these little design cues here, you might be able to guess what's in store for what the next theme is. Like the seafoam green overlay was just very simple and pretty modern. It was also thrown together quite in haste because I was trying to launch my channel before my 32nd birthday. And then this one is very mid-90s, like square in the center of the 90s, where this aesthetic was just absolutely dominant. Lots of this going on in the time of, you know, Rocko's Modern Life and Rugrats and Hey Arnold and Ren and Stimpy and all that, when Nickelodeon was just real strong. And then this one, I'm just going to go ahead and say it. We're going to be going a little further back in time. So this is going to be more early 90s. This is very much inspired by like the aesthetic of the intro to Saved by the Bell. So you're gonna get to look forward to that. This is the imagery that was very common in my infancy. Lots of pink and cyan and big, chunky, basic shapes that are strewn about like confetti. That's the idea. It's going to be very mall coated. Because that's also when malls were very big. So this is my idea for what I want next for the how I want the channel to look. And we're probably going to keep on doing that, keep changing things up. We won't always be going back in time. At some point, we're going to be going forward. Because I also have an idea for one that's more like graffiti and tribal combined. And it's going to be very early 2000s. You know, more rocket power coded, I suppose. More extreme. Yeah. And that is going to use, instead of green or purple or pink, it's going to be orange. And then I'll come up with some more. I would also like to do a 2.0 version of the old Seafoam green. So that's kind of your map going forward for changing up the look of the channel, how things are going to be in the future. For now, though, well, here's the thing. We've been talking about it for a while, right? About how my gear really needs an upgrade. And I had totally forgotten about it until yesterday. But Cyber Monday is upon us. And that's going to be a time when a lot of the gear that I've got my eye on is going to be a whole lot cheaper. So I'm very interested in that. I'm going to look over my finances over the course of tomorrow and what's left of today and see if I can afford some of that equipment while it is still affordable. And, God willing, we will finally be able to move forward with some very important upgrades and some very important projects. And we will finally start to see this channel grow in a very special, very important way. But that's later. Short-term goal right now. I gotta finish editing this video. I'm probably gonna be doing that some more today. So I'm not even gonna put this microphone away. I've got to record some audio. But thank you for joining me for this 10th anniversary celebration. As of right now, the plan is to stream again December 7th. That's another Sunday, same time, 1 p.m. Gives people a chance to get back from church, get back from their grocery shopping, get back from lunch. And then hopefully by then they'll be ready to sit down and enjoy some Cross-Age Productions. Yep, and I don't know. I don't know what I want to do for that stream. Hopefully the next episode of Digital Circus comes out by then, and then we can do that. Maybe. I also really miss What's that one by Speeder? Punch Punch Forever. Yeah, it's been a long time. And I realized that they're working with a much smaller team. It's Speederoo and some voice actors and I don't know who else, but like Glitch, as I understand it, is a much larger team, so they can work a lot faster. I'm looking forward to the next episodes of both of those. I guess I'm just gonna have to do some thinking when I can, because the Thanksgiving break is over now, and I'm gonna have to get back to work, and so I'm just gonna have to squeeze in what I can while doing all of that. I'm definitely gonna make a note to pick up some more streamer lighting. I gotta go grocery shopping tomorrow. So groceries and streamer lighting and Cyber Monday shopping. I could probably pick up the streamer lighting while doing my Cyber Monday shopping. I don't know. I'll figure it out. For now, though, again, thanks for showing up. Thank you for all your support. Thanks for getting us to this point. And I'll very much look forward to the 100 subscriber subscription, which will hopefully be coming on a lot faster. Because I'm so sorry that this next video has taken so long to come out. Mostly it is just due to the daunting nature of the subject. It is Magic the Gathering based, where I play a best of 3 with my dad. And it is such an abusive format of video, because I gotta keep track of our life totals. I got to keep track of all the action. I've got to have all these graphics on screen so that everyone can stay tuned in to what is going on. After editing the first round, I just settled for giving you guys the highlights of the next 2 rounds. And so that's kind of what I'm touching up right now, and I'm going to add some music and then finally render and export it. So that's the plan. Shopping and editing. That's the plan for today and tomorrow. And so very soon I should have some new stuff for you guys. But that's going to wrap it up for now. Again, thank you very much. Thank you for the 10 subscriptions. Every subscription and every view and like and comments and follow, it all helps push us on to bigger and better things, and just one more time, next stream, again, Sunday, same time, 1 p.m. If there are any changes, and there always could be, nothing's ever set in stone. There could always be some sort of terrible catastrophe. We've had quite a few deaths in the family this year. If anything comes up, best way to learn about it is right here on all my little socials. If you had to choose one to follow, though, in particular, it would be Twitter or X, whatever you want to call it. X is a stupid name. But that's just the social. That's the easiest for me to manage. It's the most straightforward. And yeah, thanks for tuning in, and happy belated Thanksgiving. I'll catch you guys later. Have a good night. Hopefully with better lighting. Oh, hello. Hold on. I was just about to close up. Yes, hello, Joe Hetzel. Wow, you showed up just in time. How's it going? Yes, I do play BDT 6. I'm not going to say I'm an expert. I'm not an elite player or anything. But Bloons Tower Defense has been a part of my life ever since high school. I used to play the original BTD Flash game on Newgrounds. And I kind of dropped out of the scene for a while. I wasn't that into BTD 2 or 3. They just seemed kind of janky. 4 was a little better, but then 5, I really got into it. And then I stopped. And then I got back into it. And that was the way it was for a while. Is I would have seasons playing BTD 5. And only earlier this year did I finally crack into BTD 6. I started with the Netflix version on my phone. And now I'm getting into the Steam version here on my desktop, and it has been a blast. Bit of a learning curve. And I don't necessarily like how some content is handled. The way boss events and races are designed is kind of annoying. Super Monkey 2. I had not even heard of Super Monkey 2. What is that? Hold on a sec. Let me... Super Monkey 2. Bloons Super Monkey 2. What? Bloons Super Monkey 2 mobile. No, thank you. Slick and stylish flying shoot. Oh, it's a bullet hell. It's a shoot 'em up. Flying shooter. Endless legions of colorful balloons in outlandish shapes and patterns, invading Monkey Town. And only Super Monkey can stop them. Equip dozens of powerful weapons. Unlock never-before-seen Super Monkeys. And use dozens of screen-clearing power-ups to pop every balloon and achieve a perfect diamond ranking. Fast action, pop... this is it, yeah. Let me go ahead and pull this up. This right here. Although the design of the titular Super Monkey is a little cursed. I don't like his weird blue hair. I don't think I ever realized that it's just his fur. No, because he's got sleeves. So he's got a blue outfit on, but he's also got blue hair. That is cursed. I don't like that. I don't know about the character design, but fast action pop everything fun fest. 50 vibrant levels, each with unique balloon waves. Colorful, easy to control, family fun for new gamers. Intense skill-based diamond challenges for hardcore players. 90 plus weapons including epic powers like Doom Gauntlets, Sidewinder Ace, and Yeti. 40 plus balloon shredding power-ups like explosive shots, Parallel Universe Monkey, and the Sun God. Compare level ranks with your friends. Takes this guy's good. I don't think I've ever played a bullet hell game before. Not that I'm necessarily opposed. I guess I could take a look at this. It is mobile though, yeah? So I don't know if this is something that I could do on stream. But I guess when my interest in BTD 6 runs dry, I guess I could take a crack at this. I'm sure it will happen eventually. Eventually BTD 6 is just going to piss me off so bad that I'm going to quit. I'm going to play something else instead. Very interesting. I was discussing before how about how my computer needs upgrades. And here's the thing, right? When I first launched this channel, I envisioned getting a lot more PC gaming done, only to find out that my motherboard is really holding me back. And, you know, with a new a new motherboard. I would also need to get new RAM and a new CPU. But once I get that going, all sorts of games should be coming to this channel. So look forward to that. You got to go to sleep. Hey, man, have restful sleep. In my life, I have learned just how important restful sleep can be. So, yeah. And if you ever have trouble sleeping, I recommend Neuro Sleep. Um, it's these big bottles of juice that have good sleep stuff in them. Because I used to take, what was it, melatonin as a sleep aid, and it worked fine until I started having nightmares, like chronic nightmares. And then I switched to Neuro Sleep, and I never looked back. Really, really good sleep aid. I've been drinking half a bottle every night for years now, and it's good. It comes in 3 flavors: peach apricot, mellow mango, and tangerine dream. Mellow mango is my favorite. But yeah, you have a good night, man, and happy belated Thanksgiving. And thanks again for dropping by. Yeah, so that was neat. We got to have one more little visitor before closing up for today. That's nice. Very appreciate the visit from our friend Joel Hetzel. It's a handsome name. But yeah, I think we're gonna go ahead and close things up on our side as well. This is probably like the fourth or fifth time that I've done my outro, but yeah, we'll be back December 7th at 1. That's the plan right now. Checking out the next chapter of One Piece when it comes. If anything changes, you can check out these socials here, especially Twitter. That's the best. That's the easiest one for me to manage. And once again, thanks for all your support, because every view, like, comment, subscription, follow, it all helps push us on to bigger and better things. But for now, happy belated Thanksgiving, and we'll catch you later. Have a good night. That's the wrong screen, but okay. There. That's the one. Yes, thank you.